YouTubers, Joe Buddy Platt. We're continuing on our beer series today, or beer style series today. We're going to talk about a beer that you could almost say is more of a suggestion than just a straight style. We're going to talk about pumpkin beers. When we go over the numbers, I think you'll see kind of what I'm talking about. SRMs, we're going to range from 5 to 50. IBUs, we're going to range from 5 to 70. ABV, we can be anywhere from the low 2s all the way up to 12% alcohol by volume. And temperature-wise, we're going to serve this beer around 50 to 55. As you can see in the numbers, this particular style varies greatly. And because it's less about, the range of the IBU or the alcohol range, it's about a single ingredient, which is obviously pumpkin. And because of that, the color of this beer varies greatly. Also the carbonation level, because the ABV or whatever is great variety in this beer, so carbonation would kind of work along with that. One thing or a couple things you're going to notice in these beers, as far as like hop bitterness, they tend to be on the lower extent. It might get to medium low, but tend to be lower in these beers, and that kind of makes sense because, again, this is about the pumpkin and it's not about hops. So hops is definitely going to take a back seat in this beer. As far as malt and malt sweetness, you might get to a medium plus on some of these beers, and that's because that malt sweetness kind of works with pumpkin. So malt can step out a little bit more in these beers than you'll get in hop bitterness, but again, it's about the pumpkin. It's not about malt or hops or whatever. Also, because there's a wide range of the variants in the numbers and everything in these beers, the body's going to vary. And that's because you can have a pumpkin porter, which is going to have a bigger taste, more mouthfeel, or you can have there's even like pumpkin wheat beers. Most of your pumpkin beers tend to be kind of a generic ale that kind of gives a bigger canvas for the brewer to use. So, but the body will definitely vary in these beers. A good way to think about pumpkin beers in a way is kind of contrast it to German beers. Germany, because of the Reinheitsgebot, has really strict laws about what can go in the beers. There it's just pretty much malt, hops, water, yeast, and that's it. And so the brewers don't have a lot of wiggle room. Their categories, a Weizenbock or a Doppelbock, or these beers tend to be pretty tight in the category, and I think that's why probably a lot of brewers probably prefer working with something like a pumpkin beer, because they could really stand out. Even if you're the greatest brewer or home brewer in the world and you're told to make a Weizenbock, you really can't do too, you can't really shine. But if you take something like a pumpkin beer, and I just give a great brewer pumpkin, then he really has a lot of room to work with. And another thing that makes this beer great, especially if you're a home brewer and really want to try different things, is if you think about pumpkin is not a fruit that you just eat, by itself. You generally bake it into a pie or something like that, and there's generally additional spices. There's cinnamon, nutmeg, brown sugar, what have you. And it's those spices that really allow, again, a brewer to really push the limit and try different things. And that's going to be the kind of quality marker you look for. What are they adding to this? We kind of all know what pumpkin is. There's a ton of these pumpkin beers out there, especially this time of year. It's the spices. What can they do with these spices? What kind of combination can they hit to get something truly unique? As far as food pairing goes, because this beer varies much, the food pairing might be a little tougher. A couple of guidelines: roasted turkey, which makes sense this time of year, and coffee ice cream, which, if you think about it, that could be an interesting kind of a beer float. The particular pumpkin beer we're going to try today is from Uinta Brewing. It's the Pumpkin Ale. Comes in at 4.0%. Uinta Brewing is based in Salt Lake City, and it's named after a local mountain range in the area. The brewery itself was founded in 1993. I want to say on an earlier video, I might have reviewed one of their beers. I've definitely tried some of their other beers, and they make solid products. So let's give this one a try. Alright, we've got a pretty decent head, a little thicker than a finger. This beer pours fairly clear. Just right off the bat, it almost has like a Sam Adams Boston Lager kind of color to it. Maybe a little more orange in it. Let's give it a nose. Alright, I get just a hint of malt. So like I said, some of these beers can have some malt. I definitely get some little brown sugar. The pumpkin's there, but it's kind of soft. At first glance, you'd say, oh, it's just a nice ale. However, let's give her a sip. Not too bad. They are definitely going on the subtle side, which I kind of like. Some of these pumpkin beers I try will really knock you in the head. This is more just a suggestion. You do get malt punch on the front of the tongue. Like I said, malt. I can tell malt plays a role in this beer. Soft on the spice, but it's there. Maybe a little nutmeg-ish, but not a lot. Body-wise, this is fairly soft. This is a nice drinker. At 4.0, I'm not getting any alcohol sensation really or any warming. This is very approachable. I think this is something, again, if you've got a friend, you're trying to get them out of your Bud Light, beer, or want to try something different, I think this is something that's approachable enough. The ABV-wise, it's not going to hit them. Got a nice, softer body, very drinkable. Like I said, just a hint of that pumpkin. So this might be something you definitely want to try. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Any questions, comments, or concern, you can always leave them in the comment section, or you can contact me on the Twitter page. Well, until next time, bottoms up.